Hello BroTube, this is my first foray into something on this wonderful forum of very competent brewers and wonderful people that isn't actually me making a beer, talking about making a beer, or saying why at the moment I can't make beer. So in the intro for this kind of what I'm looking to get into, I guess let's call it a diversification of the channel. In this first foray, I'm going to be attempting to make a cheese. The cheese is a very simple one, because I know absolutely diddly squat about cheese making, and it's a Brazilian cheese, I believe, from an area or region called Minas. It's called Queijo, Minas. And I found this very, very simple recipe on another YouTube channel, which I will link down below. It's called Sous Vide Everything. On a separate note, go check those guys out. They are amazing. You'll get that reference once you've seen a few of their videos. Anyway, on to this. It's what you see before you is a large plastic container. It's food grade. It is heat repellent. It will sustain quite high temperatures. It's built specifically for cooking things sous vide. So I know some of you guys have dabbled with using your hot liquor tanks as sous vide machines and cooking your steaks under in vacuum sealed bags and whatever. Great, it works a treat. What I've got here is called the Anova sous vide, or Anova precision cooker. This is a sous vide circulator. This will hold water in this vessel at one particular temperature for a set amount of time, or as long as I want, and it's just a bit more accurate than putting it in the HLT, which I did initially, but I invested in one of these. I have not looked back. I love cooking with best steaks you'll ever have. But today we're making cheese. So without further ado, let's show you what we're going to do. Initially, we'll take the lid off because we don't need that. Let's just bung that out of shot. Now, what I've got here are 2 Kilner jars. These are 1.5 litre Kilner jars. The recipe that I am borrowing today calls for a gallon of whole milk, but I don't have a vessel that will suffer the heat pressures I'm going to put it under that is 4.5 litres or 1 gallon in size. So I know that these 1.5 litre Kilner jars from Wilko's will sustain the temperatures, and so these are what I'm going with. So at 1.5 litres each, these are a third each of the overall volume that I need for making this cheese. So I'm going to use both and just basically divvy up all the quantities for the recipe by a third or 2/3 to be able to make it. See what I mean? Anyway, these we put into the vessel, and then I need to fill them with whole milk. It's important, guys, it has to be whole milk, because what we're going to do here is heat the milk to one temperature, and then we're going to split it into the curds and whey. And it's important that it's whole milk for the sake of the recipe. So let's actually take one out to fill it rather than try and do it haphazard within the circulator. I don't really want milk all through the bottom of it. I've only just cleaned it this morning. Now, I know from doing other things it can be important to leave like 1/2 inch of headspace in these things, although they are sort of retardant of the heat. I believe that they need a little bit of, I don't know, area in which, because you create a vacuum, I guess, and so you want to be able to, I don't know the science behind it, but I do know that it makes a difference. So that's one, put that in there, and then number 2. So yeah, I've not tried this cheese. This is literally me doing it for the first time. See the guys on Sous Vide Everything try it, and it looked awesome. It's a really soft cheese, Queijo Minas. It can be eaten ripe, very early, very young. Literally within a day of this process, you can start to eat it. But I did a little bit of research on Wikipedia for what that's worth, and it can be matured for sort of 4 to 10 days, but it's still a cheese you eat young. So coming back to that in a minute, these guys go in there. What I need to do now is fill this vessel with water, and it needs to be the same level or height as the height of the milk in the kilner jars. So I'll cut there because you don't want to see me fill in, I don't know, 20 odd litres of water. That will be boring as hell. Be back in a minute. Hi guys, welcome back. And level of the water is now the same as that of the milk in the jars. And at this point we need to turn the circulator on. So power on. And wait for it to kick in. Okay, so I'm going to bring you in so you can see what I'm doing, and we'll take it from there. Okay guys, so this is what everything looks like in here. You can obviously see the milk in the kiln jars, water in there, and then up to the circulator. Down here you've got temperature probes in here, as well as an impeller which circulates the water, and it basically regulates its own temperature based on what you set it to. This dial here changes this lower display for what the target temperature is. So in this case we're looking for 79.5 degrees Celsius. It goes in increments of 0.5 of a degree. The upper temperature where it says 19.9, that's what the temperature is in the water at present. So we're going to turn the circulator on by pressing the play button there. You hear that kick in, you see the water starts to move and circulate, and basically that will now raise the temperature in here until that reaches 79.5 degrees, and then it will hold it. At that point we'll come back and I'll show you the next stage. Hi guys, so the milk is slowly coming up to temperature, we're nearly there. Just to do a little word on sanitation. Obviously this is something that as homebrewers we have driven into us, you know, sanitation. It's no difference with different with cheese making. Now the video I referred to earlier doesn't cover any sanitation, and I think that may be down to the fact that they're eating this cheese really young, like after a day, 24 hours in the fridge. So I guess it don't make too much difference, but I want to get off on the right foot, so I am gonna do good sanitation straight away. So I've done a little bit of research, and this is the stuff. Turn it around. This is also what is essentially a coagulant or rennet. It's just white vinegar, but I'm making a solution of white vinegar and water, which will put it into an atomizer or a spray, and this is what we'll use as in place of like Star San, essentially, to clean the decks and any utensils I'm going to be using. I'm also boiling or will be boiling some water in a stock pot to basically the steam from that will clean anything stainless steel I'm using. I'm not using a lot of gear, just a few little bits. The rest of it, anything that's not stainless steel and not my cheesecloth, I'm going to wash thoroughly with hot soapy water, rinse with cold water, and then spray with this atomizer. Put it all on clean decks that are sprayed with this atomizer and wipe clean, and then hopefully I'll limit any of the effects of any sort of nasties that might be lurking around, or flavours that I don't want to get into the cheese. The amount of each of this white vinegar and the ratio of this white vinegar to water is 1 cup white vinegar to, it was either 2 or 3 cups of water. I'll put an amendment somewhere below the video once I know exactly what I'm doing. Learning as we go. Anyway, catch you later. Bye. Okay guys, sous vide's at temperature. It's covered in towels because I can't get the lid down on it, and it's struggling to maintain 79.4 degrees. So real quick now, I've got a 1/3 cup measurement white vinegar, which is my coagulant. I'm going to put a 1/3 cup of this into each of the kilner jars, and then it will need a stir, and it should start to pretty much straight away split the curds from the whey. So let's do it. Okay. All these tea towels are clean. Doing my best to try and maintain some sort of sanitation. It's slightly different to beer making, so I've had to kind of do it as I go. Okay, let's fill this up. Silly, hope this works. Okay, they have gone in. Bear with me and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got a sanitised fork. I'm just going to give these a bit of a stir now. So have a little look at that. How cool is that? Now in the kitchen, we have curds, we have whey. Okay, let's set you up here. Make sure you can see what's going on. Now I'm going to be out of shot for this, but that's no great loss. You can see all my utensils over here that are on a clean dishcloth, sanitised. In the stock pot here I've got my cheesecloth and my stainless steel bowl that I'm going to drain the whey into. So let's crack on. That I can turn off the heat now. That should be all sanitised. Okay, let's have a go. Here's colander goes inside the bowl. Let's see if we can lift the lid on one of these. I think here I am going to need the cheesecloth. Wow, it looks like scrambled eggs. You see that? Let's just put that down for a second. Well, it doesn't smell too different from scrambled eggs either. So that's our first lot of curds. Done that. Now shot in the sink. Now I need to get rid of the whey, and then we can start to get the rest of it out. So I'm just going to go tip this away. Have a little look what we got so far. Does look very much like scrambled eggs, just without maybe all the colour. Anyway, next kilner jar. That's how much curds we got. That's pretty impressive. Now I believe we need to kind of strain this a little bit, but at the same time we don't want to lose all of the moisture, because ultimately what we're making is a soft cheese, so you want to retain some of that moisture, but we need to lose some of it as well. Okay, so next phase is I need butter, about somewhere around a tablespoon, a knob. So I'm just going to go that bit there, wallop, nothing too scientific about it. I need to melt it. So this is going in the microwave. Okay, so very quickly, curds are going to go now into this bowl. put that inside the colander here so it's off the surfaces. And it smells really nice, it smells very bready. We put the melted butter in there like that. Done that to the side. Now let's work that into the curds. I think soon we've got to taste test it, and I'm really freaked out by this, but it's only going to be cheese, it can't taste too bad, could it? So I am going to have a little taster with that as is, because then we have to add salt for the flavour and preservatives. So here, a little bit of curd. Quite plain, but nice, really clean, buttery. So salt next. Just work that in. Okay, so we'll have a little taste test. Tastes saltier. I think just as another, for good measure, that'll do us. Okay, so curds mixed with salt and butter. Next, get a plate, sanitised plate, a voila. Let's just move you down so you can see what's going on here. And then we have our cheese mould, this perforated pot. Bought off eBay the other day, and we want to put our cheesecloth back in here. Okay, now I need to put the curds in here. Hopefully this, I bought the right size of mould. I think it's going to be alright. I don't really want to waste any, but I can only make a cheese as big as the mould, so a bit closer on the thing. I'll get it all in there. Waste not, want not. Yeah, we're all in business. Okay, so everything's in the mould now. We're going to just sort of work that down. Now, I know when people are making other cheeses, they use a press to apply pounds of pressure to the cheese for periods of time to get it fixed in place. With this one, it wasn't reported as necessary. You just have this bit, which is called the follow, I believe. That goes on top like that. You just give that a little push, down it goes. And then we're gonna just put that on top. And it goes in the fridge. So guys, I'm gonna leave it there. We'll come back in, I don't know, day, 3 days, and we'll have a bit of a taste test.